Hello and welcome back to Three Pints and a Clean Sheet. This is episode 103 on a very chilly evening, a Monday evening, when we are recording this. Kyle, how are you?
As you can tell by my attire, I'm cold.
Oh, I thought you were doing it for a bet. Robert, how are you?
Warmer than Kel. I've got the heating on, so I'm all right.
So do I.
But yeah, I'm
Clearly
good,
not.
thanks.
Yeah, good. Clearly not very high, Kyle. Uh,
Well, it's
one
on
thing
20,
to,
25, I think.
well, someone needs to come and check your heating. Um,
Probably.
one team or one thing to warm your heart, Kyle. It might not warm anyone else. Scotland have won a game of football.
Ooh.
Doesn't warm Greg's stats though, because now he can't say about a competitive win in so long anymore.
Yeah, but thank the Lord. It's been a very long time coming. And to be fair, I was very convinced it was finishing 0-0.
So was I. I watched most of the first half and then had to switch it off. I kind of just was checking in on the updates as I could, and like you said, I thought it was going to end in 0-0, but yeah, we didn't. We won.
We did win 1-0 thanks to Jonathan.
Yes, thanks to
McGuinn.
McJonathan off the bench. Um,
Might
I
deflection right enough, but
let's not get bogged down in all that.
It was a
Um,
oh, it was on
top
target. It's still his goal.
corner
yeah.
screamer.
I don't care how it went in, as long as it went in. I did think at whatever point in the second half where Pasalic went through, after what was an unreal pass from Luka Modric, who at 39 was bossing that game of football at times.
I was like he's a
Um,
world-class player.
I mean, probably, but at 39, like, come on, he just makes it look so easy. At the point Pasalic went through and then lifted his shot wide, I you know, did tense up a bit in the old uh,
Um,
rectum department.
it was got to lower the tone. That
Well,
that is
saying
poor.
that, there was a few tense moments. However, big shoe, big shoe. Craig Gordon with a big save. Um,
Again,
aye,
41. How's he still doing it?
Because he's good.
very,
Alternative
very well.
question: how's there no one better than him yet?
But this Kieran Slicker could be quite good, but nobody's seen him play.
No, he's third choice for Ipswich, so he probably shouldn't be starting for Scotland.
But you never know, he could be the next coming of Andy Gorham.
Well, there was two of
Well,
them to start with.
that's horrible. To get that cut out, I do not agree with that.
Out.
Schizophrenia is not a joke. That's horrible.
I just meant because he was a good Scottish keeper.
You asked
Wasn't
him? No, I said what he said.
he?
So
No.
yeah, let's see
See,
if he keeps that in.
I was being a nice, young, friendly fella for a change, and
I
Greg
was
lowers
not.
the tone. No, bye.
And then Greg's greeting about Keir Starmer kicking him out for things he said, and then he goes and says that. That's horrible. I might resign after this. That's fuck it. That's too much.
As of
Anyway,
tomorrow, we're joining an open goal.
Good riddance.
no, I'm not. I'll branch off, make my own
1 pint.
1 point. Nah,
Half a pint.
Anyway,
maybe me and Kel could just branch off. Then no one can edit. Just pure just raw footage. Anyway, back to the story. Someone who will be doing it for a long time to come is Ben Doak. What a performance again. Absolutely had Guardiola on toast. 70 odd million he's worth. Made it look like he was a Sunday League player. Turned him round through the legs. See you later.
Yeah, he's too good for Middlesbrough.
it's also about 10
Yeah,
year
well, it's
old.
working. It's working. If he's applying his straight there and he's getting the time and minutes he needs, then let's be honest, he's going to go back into the Prem. Maybe don't can't see him starting for Liverpool, but
Maybe when
Can
Salah
I?
goes,
I was going to say, like, is this the Mohamed Salah replacement? Do Liverpool actually not need to buy anyone, and this is just the Mohamed Salah replacement?
depends how quickly they bring him into the team. And when Salah leaves, it's kind of depends on that.
I'd love to see that happen. I'm not sure it will. I think Liverpool will sell him to like a, you know, like if
Brentford.
Borough get promoted, fair enough. But if not, then he's going to get sold to like a low mid-table Premier League team.
I
So I
think
look
forget
forward to seeing him start for Man United next season.
if they sell, it'll be good money. I reckon. I
Oh,
hope.
30 mil now? That's surely put an extra zero on his value.
I suppose it's Scottish. They'll probably get the Scottish tax deduction thing and then be worth about five.
True. Yeah.
well, you say that, and I would normally agree, but you look at the likes of McTominay, who's went to Italy, who's only but added on to his value, I would say, was those performances for Napoli. And
Yep.
Gilmore will probably do the same. I think he is well thought of there as well. Just obviously McTominay's popping up all these goals. McTominay obviously near the start of the game nearly buried one, which was also a great play from Doak, who was cutting in from the side and managed to cut back with this pass that through to the defenders that I thought we would have been intercepted at one point. McTominay just kind of it's on target, keeper saves it, just doesn't get enough power on it. I don't think with the amount of time that's
Yeah.
gets when the ball cuts back. So
Pretty
It's nice
much.
to have
Go on, Kyle.
it's nice to have a direct player for a change. Somebody's
It
not
is.
afraid to beat a man and do.
that's what you want.
Alright.
Someone who will actually drive at a player instead of just turning around and passing it backwards.
It's like Eche Canyo. Akechi Anyo.
No, he's not. Let's not even make that comparison. That's far too harsh.
No.
He's
He's
much
like-
better than Akechi Anya
Oh,
already.
he wasn't afraid to beat a man though. He couldn't have, but he wasn't afraid to try.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I won't. Doesn't make sense. That's not what we're talking about.
I think
Didn't try
I think
hard. Doak's got ability.
pretty
Aye.
much every good thing Scotland did either started with Ben Doak or finished with Ben Doak. Ben Doak obviously thinking of the chance they had at the back post. This was made a lot easier though with a red card for Sucic.
Change the game.
I think it did.
That's what I said. Though.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said it sarcastically.
No, change the game because Scotland opened the floodgates and just wait for them.
Lots of debate about it. I don't think it's like I get the argument that the first yellow card is a wee bit harsh. It does come through from behind, and you can make the argument. The second one is just fundamentally stupid.
Yeah, give an excuse.
Well, I said before we started that was probably a red card in of itself.
I don't think it was. I think it was like nailed on yellow.
It looked quite sore.
Yeah.
Studs to the knee. I thought that was quite a red card. I don't know.
How much contact there actually was on his knee?
Hunters.
Maybe.
I think I'm up for a change swing towards Greg's side there.
That's
Like-
fine. I see what it is.
We go back to what we've said time and time again when it comes to refereeing on this podcast, which is fundamentally like don't let the referee make a decision that hurts your team.
It's your own fault if you're giving the ref the decision.
Yeah, you're literally on a booking. Don't go in like that.
I'm off. It's just,
Sorry, are you busy greeting? Because Robert went to my side for a change. That's what it looks like.
no, it's on my. It's annoying me.
Mm.
I think when I'm dropping mine a bit more in, so it's not really helping me.
Yeah. What was I going to say there? Like, it was unusual that the red card were from two quite innocuous incidents in the middle of the pitch. Like the first yellow card actually in the edge of like the Scotland box. Like
It's
they're
like
just
people when you're on a yellow and you think I'm just gonna fly to this, it'll be fine.
yeah, they're just absolute nothing challenges that you just don't have to make. It's just a bit silly and ultimately cost Croatia the game. Scotland can end up in any of three pots. The game, as I say, we're recording this Monday, pre-Scotland game, so this is ahead of the game in Warsaw this evening. Scotland can still, and you will know this by the time the podcast is out, end up in pot 1, pot 2, or pot 3
For what?
for the World Cup qualifying.
Thank you.
If Scotland draw or lose, Scotland finish fourth, get automatically relegated to League B, and then are in pot 3 for the World Cup draw. If Scotland finish third, they end up in a two-legged relegation playoff versus a League B runner-up. So that is Greece, Austria, one of Turkey, Wales, Iceland, or one of Czechia, Georgia, Albania, Ukraine.
So the whole B League.
Basically, yeah.
Or England.
And then potentially either pot 3 or pot 2. Pot 2 if one of Czechia, Slovakia, or Romania don't win. And then if Scotland finish second, which involves Scotland winning by at least 2 goals, or Scotland, and like basically it depends on various combinations of results. Thanks to Scotland's coefficient on Twitter, as always, for making this simple for us simple people. Basically, Scotland finish second, would get a 2-legged quarter-final, and would be in pot 1 for the World Cup qualifying draw.
Hot dog.
And given only one team qualifies automatically from those groups, it is like a pot 1 place is absolutely vital. Ending up in pot 3 is pretty brutal.
Yeah, we're kind of praying for pot 1, to be honest. And it'll be a sore one if we don't get it, because we had plenty of opportunities.
Yeah.
Even pot 2 is all right. I'll take pot 2.
Would you?
No, better than pot 3, isn't it?
I mean, it's better than pot 3, but not that much better than pot 3.
If there's only really one team in theory better than you.
I don't know. I read some teams in pot 3. I can't remember who they are, but I did read some of the teams in pot 3, and they were not particularly nice.
Let's be honest, I feel like at this current time in international football, anyone can really beat anyone. I mean, look back to last year. I know we played class, and I'm not taking away from that, but you wouldn't really have put us up against Spain and thought Scotland might actually win here.
Am I right in saying that Israel just beat Belgium as well, like
1-0,
yesterday?
Yeah.
Only not because of my bet. I seen that's another proof that anyone beats anyone. And that's why we love it so much.
It's more of an open field. I feel like you're finding it in quite a lot of sports, but obviously we're a football podcast, so we're going to stick on football at the minute. But in terms of international football, there's a lot of more different factors that come into play in comparison to club football. So it's quite interesting. From my perspective, I think it's quite interesting.
Yeah, and to move us on a bit, that has been a debate, largely in England in the past week, before England's 2 thumping wins in the Nations League, 3-0 away in Greece, and then 5-0 at Wembley against Ireland. There was big debate about club v country. 9 England players dropped out of the squad before those 2 matches, before Thomas Tuchel takes charge. To list them: Trent Alexander-Arnold, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, Aaron Ramsdale, Levi Colwill, and Jared Branthwaite.
Some of them will only play anyway, to be fair.
Quite a lot of them will.
Still not the point. Looking at Jack Grealish, for example, he's greeting that he never got a spot at the Euros, and he's dropped out when he's got called up.
Yeah. Like, it's... For me, it's very simple. Like, there's a whole lot, especially if you read comments on Twitter and Facebook, which I'm terrible for. You read people, like any international football story, you see lots of English people going, "What? Club football is so much better." It's like, oh, these players should be putting their clubs first, their England second. It's like, you are the stereotypical only watches England at tournament watcher, then, aren't you? For you saying, the Nations League is completely pointless. That's how we've qualified for a Euros.
I think it is pointless to a degree, but if it helps weird countries in tournaments, and it's not pointless.
It's better than pointless friendlies beforehand. Like, people just, like, those dinosaurs just haven't changed their mindset. I think we could all say, like, I don't want to speak for you two, but in my experience,
sorry, I was casting the rod out there. You were fishing there.
In my experience, at least, Scotland would always come before my club. Like, I would do anything for Scotland to win a Euros or a World Cup.
I just wanted to qualify for as long, so yeah, that was where I was at.
That, largely because my club is Queen's.
Like, well, here's one for you. As a Rangers fan, I'm Scotland fan. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I get folks really assume that I don't support Scotland because I support Rangers. I don't like the stereotype. I'm Scottish. I support the national team. Went to Germany to see them. Do you know what I mean? It's not like this whole I'm British persona. I can't support Scotland. It boils my, not boils. It fries my brain rather. I don't get it. But maybe I'm not the best person to ask because I'm probably quite an exception.
So let me ask you these questions then. Scotland qualified for the last, Scotland qualified for
I'm
the last Euros.
I'm not doing all these hypothetical questions.
Scotland qualified for the last Euros in Germany. Rangers
Right.
lost the Europa League final. Would you rather Rangers won the Europa League final and Scotland didn't qualify?
I'm not answering that.
That's a yes. That's
No,
I would rather
not.
Aaron Ramsey wasn't a shite bag.
I think
Get that clipped, Kyle. Get that clipped.
Get what clipped? You're putting words in my mouth. I never said anything. My
nobody
lawyers
took my side.
have advised me not to comment on this matter.
I'm going
I want Scotland to do well. I'm a Scotland fan. It doesn't really work for you on that one. You were wanting more of a bite there.
10 in a row, Scotland reach a Euros final.
I'm still not answering these questions.
Okay. Anyone who's watching this video can see exactly why that was.
I could kill it. would kill to see Scotland win a competition.
I would like to say Robert, on behalf of my client, Mr. Adams, Robert would not kill to do anything. I'd like to make that very clear. Robert has never and will never kill a man.
Didn't say
Well,
man.
why is you assuming?
Yeah, you just assume.
Well,
And why
yeah,
why is my lawyer piping up now when I was getting these catch questions about 2 minutes ago?
And why is the lawyer asking the same questions?
Wait, he's taking the wig off. He's like the judge in the
Dr.
jury.
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Excuse me, there'll be no talk about wigs in relation to my hair. Thank you very much. We've gone off track as always. England. There was talk about in the Nations League auditioning for Thomas Tuchel and Lee Carsley making a conscious effort to blood some new players. Obviously, quite a few first England goals, some non-frequent England players. I'm thinking of Gordon, Madueke, Curtis Jones, obviously, against Greece.
Bowen,
Bowen,
Jared,
Lewis Hall, Tino Livramento,
Kane,
Harvey Bellis. Yeah.
I'll add in there. He goes out with Roy Keane's daughter, I believe. Don't know if they're engaged or not. Anyway, apparently there was a comment made, and Roy Keane went, "It's not final yet," and then went into an in-depth analysis about the goal. So I thought that gave me quite a chuckle. If you've not seen it, check it out on X.
Yes. Can I start with Harvey Bellis and say, why the hell is he in the squad?
nobody else.
Like, I think him being in that squad, and I get the point is to blood young players, etc., right? But he plays for Southampton, who have been doing utterly terrible in the Premier League.
But maybe he's been a standout. I don't know. I don't watch
He's
that.
not. There's been no one good in that Southampton squad, apart from maybe that young dibbling winger boy. But that's because he's being good for his age. Like, the whole it emphasises the point I've made about England for a while now, which is no matter what you think about England and the players they have at disposal, their defence is not very good.
2 clean sheets, to be fair.
Against two teams that they should absolutely be battering, and to their credit, they have. They were let off against Ireland twice by a referee who decided to not give a penalty when they were pretty strong cases for penalties.
The Walker one wasn't a penalty.
The Walker one, I think, is questionable. The other one is 10 minutes before that, where there's a shirt pull.
Greece beat them before.
I
mean, Greece beat them before.
And Greece beat them.
At Wembley, sure.
So, I mean, it was in the right direction, because it was quite a thumping in comparison to getting beat. But, I mean, I think England fans expect that every time.
I mean, to be fair, with the players England have at their disposal, they should be beating Greece and Republic of Ireland pretty respectively.
Well,
Given when you look...
With 3 goals in 5 minutes as well, I'll add. Yes. Following the Liam Scales red card, I believe.
Yes.
I've got to say, you said all these good players, but the 9 players dropped out, so it was not their best team, was it?
I mean, do you want to look at how many of those who dropped out were defenders? Because it's not that many.
I don't know. I can't remember all the names you said, and I've already forgot them all.
I'll give you them back. I'll give you the defenders back. Alexander-Arnold, arguably. Even though he gets played in midfield. Levi Colwell. And that's about, everyone else is a midfielder or forward.
Well, fair enough.
Not going to lie, I thought that Tuchel would have been in charge already. I didn't realise that Carsley was still in charge for these two.
About 25.
Until obviously the games took place and I saw him and not Tuchel.
It seemed a bit pointless because they're not going to play for Carsley early because he's no their manager anymore.
Well,
they clearly did.
Oh, and usually they don't, but clearly they did today. But so it's interesting Tuchel, but I don't know.
Yeah,
he's not doing it anyways. He'll just take charge for a bit. Got used to it.
The last kind of thing I'd want to say on England is we still don't really know how good this England squad actually is. They've won a Nations League group against 3 teams who are not very good and lost one of those games against Greece. They're going to go into a World Cup qualifying group where no doubt, because we know how the script works at this point, they're going to get the easiest group possible. They're going to win every single qualifying game. They're going to qualify for the World Cup, and then that's where the test actually is. Because, people forget that England got relegated from the last Nations League for being shit.
Bit of a hard group though.
Every group in League A is hard.
I
That's the
imagine
whole point of it.
compared theirs to ours, it's quite. They had a lot harder teams than we did. We have.
They had Germany, Hungary, and Italy, I want to say.
So I would take Portugal and Croatia in a heartbeat. Not take them on personally, but I would like to play them.
I'd agree with you, but it's not like out of the question. I think that goes back to the other point though about England not taking the Nations League seriously and the club v country argument. The whole point of the Nations League is that you get to if you are in League A, you get to play these big teams and you get to set up against them and try different things and actually test yourself against the opposition who are just as good as you. Because otherwise, you end up in the same England problem that England get in, which is England win the qualifying group, win some friendlies, and then get to a tournament and then go, oh, we've not played anyone good in 4 years.
True.
I'll agree with you on that one.
Can't argue with you. I'm running out of arguments.
Good. In that case, we'll move on with the stunned silence at my brilliant argument. Kyle, do you want to introduce the next bit, or do you want me to do it?
Oh, if you wish.
On you go.
Damn, I was trying to make you do it.
Okay.
No, I'll go. I'll let you do it. Change my mind. I've got an interesting question for you both. So buckle up, strap in, strap on. We're going back to club football as well.
Oh, because it's so much better than international football. That's for you England fans.
In the Scottish leagues, do you reckon we'll see a non-old firm winner? We'll say in our lifetime, so 50 odd year.
Just to clarify, you mean the Premiership, because there's going to be 3 non-old firm winners of.
Yeah, in the Scottish top flight.
Yes, when you said Scottish leagues, I'm like,
Sorry.
Do you mean Rangers are going back down to League 2 and coming back up again, or?
No, it's not working.
He's not saying anything.
No, because I was expecting it. I was waiting for it, hence the silence.
Yeah, so that's my question.
I mean, Aberdeen are doing a good job this year of showing what can be done against the old firm. Whether they can keep that going and keep the momentum up, we shall see. But they're going in the right direction. However, obviously, it was a cup game, but Celtic absolutely battered them at Hampden 5-0. So I think it still kind of shows the gap, even though they are sitting in second. It's an interesting question. I think it all comes down to the prize money, because let's be honest, Rangers and Celtic, more so Celtic at the minute, have far superior financial advantage that really is going to be hard to topple unless there's a significant change or to the structure or just the way it's dished out.
Yeah, you'll have no surprise again. I'm going to hijack this question and change it slightly to wind Robert up.
There's an absolute surprise to nobody.
When do you think we'll next see a non-Celtic winner?
Hopefully this. No, I'm joking. I don't know. Good question. I don't think it'll be as far away as you're making it out.
Do you know?
But nah.
New Champions League gives you a lot more prize money, and you get 2.5 million for every win. And we know that in the new Champions League, you get you play teams that you can beat more often, which gives you a bigger chunk of the pie once you're in. And the only way to get in the Champions League through Scotland is by winning the league. And Celtic are probably winning the league this season, and so on and so on.
But after this year, does it not go back to they're going to have to qualify, or is it still going to? I thought that due to coefficient drops, they were going to have to go through qualifiers again.
Depends how well they do. They're exceeding expectations. So if Celtic, somehow manage to get through and other teams don't, and if Rangers perform well in the Europa League, and if Hearts continue to perform well in the Conference League, there is a chance that it's going to be easier than we thought. Because, Celtic have exceeded expectations so far.
We'll see if they win a knockout game. Or over 2 legs.
There was 2 teams last season because of Rangers' behaviour in the Europa League.
Not so much over the last year didn't have a bad run. The year before that was obviously catastrophic. But I mean, Rangers have bulked up the coefficient for years. But then that falls down, then I get your argument of if you've got to be doing it in the league to capitalise on that money that we're making through points. Yeah. quarter
Well, you get
final
more.
under
You get
Gerrard.
more. You get just as many coefficient points for going into the Champions League group stage as you do for winning however many Europa League group stage games it was.
Ah, but we had a few knockout runs under Gerrard. Pretty sure we reached the quarter
Yeah,
final and got to the
the
final under Gio.
yeah the final one is the one that really bumped the coefficient up. But we are also at a stage where when you talk about qualifying, like the minimum standard now needs to be winning quite a few games in each of the competitions because clubs from countries need us in the coefficient stakes. Now, I'm conscious we're on a big tangent now, but I promise it'll go somewhere. The clubs like in that cycle and like relative to us are doing pretty well in Europe. Therefore, we also need to do pretty well in Europe. Otherwise, it is going to get harder and harder. And the harder it gets, I actually think makes it like both ways. Like I don't think either way makes it any easier for a non-Celtic club to win because Rangers are like light years behind at the minute.
I feel like over the years though it has been like that. I mean, it's quite a bigger gap than probably we've seen for a while. But looking back, the kind of as swings and roundabouts, they kind of seem to rotate. The current way it's going, I don't think there's going to be much rotating that soon. But I still have faith. But to bring it back to what we were actually talking about, it's good to see a team like Hearts doing well because that's obviously going to build on confidence as well. I mean, obviously they've had a bit of a
In the
patchy
Conference League, you mean?
yeah, European in general. I mean, I know it's the lowest competition, but winning in any European competition is still a decent feat. So, I mean that on that side of things,
See,
it's
I'm
good
not
to
sure
see
it is
another
at this
team.
stage. At this stage, when we're doing coefficient battles, winning in the Conference League for our third place team should probably be getting close to the minimum expectation.
Yeah, but I'm saying they've got to actually win it and win games, and they have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. That now shouldn't be a oh well done Hearts. It should now be a you're doing your job Hearts.
Yeah, but in Europe, let's be honest, it's very easy to call complacent.
Teams from Cyprus have done it for years. Cyprus used to be nothing. They've now got what 3 or 4 teams in Europe doing well because they somehow get wins. But like wins gets you money, and then what you've not got to do is spaff that money. And like that's the big thing for Aberdeen this season when you say, well, we see another Old Firm winner. Whoever it is, if there is going to be a team that challenges them, especially like I'm just going to assume it's Celtic for now because it's easier with the Champions League money and the money Celtic have at their disposal. They have to make so much more out of the limited resources they have. They have to do so much more with it. They have to not get any recruitment wrong. They have to, not sack a manager for no reason. They have to build a long-term project. And even Rangers are showing how hard it can be to do those things repeatedly.
Rangers are going about it wrong, but that's a different conversation.
They are, but like, to repeat something Chris Boyd said after the Rangers Aberdeen game, Aberdeen have been guilty of just sacking managers, repeat and repeat and repeat. And that costs money. And like Rangers are in that cycle now of sack manager, manager buys players, doesn't do that well, sack manager. And it just costs a load more money.
Yeah, it's a vicious circle.
But in order to get to a non-old firm winner, you have to do all of that and you have to beat Celtic at their own game. And Rangers at their own game, because Rangers, especially at Ibrox, can be a really tough, like it is a really tough game.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Going back to the original point though again.
I think that was the
I
original
th
point, but fine.
No, because you said non-old firm winner and Caleb was non-old firm winner.
Yeah, I'm still like, regardless of who it is, whoever it is, like a non-old firm challenger still has to do everything right with even less resources
Yeah,
than Rangers
right.
stroke whoever else does.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I think it'll take a while to topple that pyramid, but I think it could be done.
It doesn't help that Rangers Celtic steal like every big club in every league is doing it, but it doesn't help that Rangers and Celtic can afford to steal the best players from other clubs in the league and then sit them on the bench.
I think that's
Uh,
I'll get hit for this. More notably a Rangers thing. Celtic buy out with Scotland, it feels.
McCowan,
Sorry, yeah. Most of them, because Rangers team
I
always rate
feel like
Aberdeen
Turnbull at the time.
2 and 10 year.
I'm thinking that there are plenty others. I'm thinking
Barron
like when
from
you went back
Aberdeen,
Barron for Rangers, I'm thinking like Johnny Hayes
right?
back in the day, Mackay
I mean, he
Stephen
wasn't
back in the
young.
day.
he wasn't young, but Ryan Jack to a degree. He
Yeah.
was a John Suter from Heart. Well,
Yeah, John Suter from Hearts. Literally any good player. Celtic Rangers kind of soak them up quite easily. Look at the Shanklin debate. The minute Shanklin gets in any sort of form, it's, oh, Rangers are interested.
I think that's just the media just being stupid.
I think if Rangers were going to do it, they'd done it by now.
I think that ship sailed and all, like, but it's not really relevant.
It is,
Yeah.
but
I mean, but the thing is,
discussion,
if you want to play that argument, I mean, there's been a lot of conversation recently I've noticed about obviously Rangers and City do seem to hoover up these young players and then ruins their careers. I mean, the likes of the comparison I seen on Twitter yesterday was obviously Lennon Miller. It's been rumoured could go to Celtic for so much, go to Rangers for so much. But obviously him and Bailey Rice, Rangers player, were kind of coming through the setups at the same time. And obviously, apparently Bailey Rice was quite ahead of Miller at the time. And now you look at the difference. Miller's been allowed to actually play in a role where he can actually learn his trade and apply his trade. And completely different players. I couldn't even tell you how many appearances Rice has. Probably count on one hand, to be honest.
I was going to say they tend to play in the Lowland League and the B teams.
I feel it's
Whereas Lennon Miller gets to play in the first team against the better players.
Yeah. But you see the point I'm making.
Yeah, no.
You're playing different non-old firm teams, I feel does create more opportunities.
but that is the whole point. Like, it's another factor that counts against the non-old firm teams, right? That the old firm teams can afford to hoover up players, and they don't have to get it right. Like hoovering them up is a net win anyway, because the other team doesn't have that player and they can't challenge. And then there's limited financial risk on the other side if it doesn't work out. Celtic's still got $1 million back for David Turnbull if rumours are led to be believed, minimum.
Yeah. Turnbull did a job for them.
I mean, Givens doing a job just the same as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't give him much of a chance.
Let us know down below, what do you think? Will there be a non-old firm winner in our lifetime? That'd be interesting to see.
I was having a wee nosy. The last one was 1984, Aberdeen, in the Alex Ferguson days.
And so much like that relied on a generational manager to do it. Possibly the best manager of all time.
Probably had some good players and all, like.
Yeah,
very much so, yeah.
Because they won the European Cup in about that time as well.
Yeah, so, but I'm just making the point.
I didn't see one. Don't get so defensive. We're just friends, having a conversation.
Well, soon now we're going to be friends having a game of the category game. Cool. So, yes, as promised, it is the category game, and Robert beat me last week, so Robert is the current champion.
Bash.
Thank you. Category game, bit like a game of tennis. I'm going to give a category. We're going to start naming answers. If you get it wrong, you'll hear one of these. If you get it right, you'll hear one of these. And if you take too long, I will play Naveed to tell you to hurry up. Best of 3, and the winner will become the new champion. Kyle, you're the challenger, so you get first pick of categories this week. It's weird saying the phrase, Kyle, you're the challenger.
Don't get used to it. Don't get used to it.
3 categories for you this week. We have international football, European football, and Premier League.
For European football.
European football. This is the one I've not counted how many answers there are for, though there are quite a lot. There's basically a page of A4. I am looking for, remember, Kyle, for you to go first, any manager to ever have won the European Cup or Champions League since 1956.
What's the European Cup? Is that the Europa League or?
Nope, just previous iteration Champions League.
Pep Guardiola.
I'm writing it down. Anyone who's won, basically any manager who's won Champions League.
Any managers won the Champions League or the European Cup before it became the Champions League. Pep Guardiola is correct.
So Alex Ferguson.
Ancelotti.
Jock Stein.
Oh,
must make your blood boil.
Wasn't sure about that yet. Thomas Tuchel.
Yep.
Oh, his name's been in my bloody head.
I'm going to be quite generous with time this week for reference.
What's his fucking name?
Come on.
I'm having a bit of a nightmare here.
Not that
Clock is
generous.
ticking. What have to
Wait.
rush you?
Oh, I'm gonna lose then.
Time.
Nah, my mate. I was thinking.
Oh, there's loads more left.
I'm trying to think.
I've got to say one.
Nope.
Well, Jurgen Klopp and Jupp Heynckes, or whatever you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Jupp
So
Heynckes.
once you could have had, I'm gonna be picky. I'm gonna be fairly picky from the list. So the list is massive. Rafa Benitez, Vicente Del Bosque, Matt Busby, Fabio Capello, Brian Clough, Johan
Di
Cruyff,
Matteo was who I was trying to think of.
Ian Clough.
Luis Enrique, Hansi Flick, Louis van Gaal, Jupp Heynckes, Gus Hiddink, Otmar Hitzfeld, Jurgen Klopp, Marcelo Lippi, Roberto Di Matteo, Jose Mourinho,
Zizou.
Frank Rijkaard, Arrigo Sacchi, Zizou.
Yay.
Robert, international footballer, Premier League.
International.
International football, 12 answers for this. I'm going to be pretty generous with the time because this was inspired by the Messi question last week.
Joe Blazer.
12 answers. I'm going to be pretty generous with the time because
12.
of what the question is. 12 answers.
Christ.
Any side Gareth Southgate lost against as England manager, including after extra time and on penalties. 12 answers. Robert, to go first. Any side Gareth Southgate lost against as England manager. I'm going to be pretty generous.
Italy.
Spain.
That's my next one.
Should say does
Let's
not
see.
have to be competitive, can be friendlies.
I wanted to say Greece, but I think that was Carsley anyway. I think that was after he stepped down. Could be wrong though. I generally do not. Can I not think anyone else? I'll say Germany. I think Germany beat them. I don't know.
Good.
Oh, it did.
France.
Yep. 2022 World Cup.
Hmm.
4 out of 12.
Croatia.
2018 World Cup.
Belgium.
2018 World
That's
Cup.
my next one. Wait, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
That's
6.
6 of them, 6 left.
Teams that got beat by
Oh no.
This
Portugal.
is about wrong.
He needs to give an answer.
He does need to get one.
I was going to say Netherlands.
Is that what you are going to say?
Oh, I just said it, so.
Correct.
Nations League,
Nations League finals after extra time. Anyone want to stab at any of the other 5?
Was it just England or was it his team at Middlesbrough as well?
Just England.
Oh. I was going to say Man City, but that's just what I didn't.
Nope.
Are they wee teams or are they bigger teams?
One big, 4 wee, though one was quite high profile. So, since we're not getting anywhere, 2 friendlies before the Euros. They lost at Wembley to Brazil and Iceland. And then a couple of other qualifying stroke Nations League defeats. Czech Republic, Denmark, and they lost twice against Hungary.
4-0, sure.
Yes, they did. Last one we'll do to see if we can save Robert Pride, so we'll do it properly to see if we can make it 2-1. Kyle to go first. Premier League, 24 answers. Any player to have scored a Premier League goal for Manchester United under Erik ten Hag?
God. Hoyland.
10. It's 24.
Harry Maguire. I'm sure he scored.
He scored 2, sure.
Bruno Fernandes.
He scored 18.
Casemiro.
6, including
How
the
many answers
last
is there?
one. 24.
Oops. Rashford.
Most out of anyone, 24.
Christ.
Amad Diallo.
Amad Diallo. 2.
Jadon Sancho.
6.
I don't think who else plays for Man United.
Well, actually, name a Man United player, and you've got a good chance of it being right.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Oh, not that one.
This is
You would have won by now anyway, Kyle.
Matthijs de Ligt.
Yep, 1. Any other guesses?
Um,
There's some big ones you really should have
Ronaldo.
got. Yep.
I couldn't
1.
remember if Ronaldo was still there when he was there.
You see big, but
Well, there's one, someone with 12 goals and someone with 8 goals still left.
Ericsson. I don't think he did.
He did, but he only got 2.
McTominay.
There's the person with 8.
Garnacho.
There's the person with 12.
I thought we already had that one.
Next biggest number is 7.
7.
I'm doing this because I know there's Man United fans who watch this who might enjoy this game.
Varane. I don't think he's not 7, but
No, he did get 1.
Martinez.
Also got 1.
How many left?
Quite a few. You've got 1 7, a 4, 2 3s, a 2, and 5 1s.
Dallo.
One of the 3s.
I'm starting to.
Any guesses, Robert?
No, I give up.
Johnny Evans hasn't got you, and I ken that
Correct.
because he's not played enough. Nah. Oh, Amrabat maybe.
Nope.
Mason
Remaining
Mount.
answers. Mason Mount is one of them. He has 1. Remaining answers, I'll read out to put you out your misery. I'll do it in order of number of goals they have. Josh Zuxey has 1 in the opening game of the season. Luke Shaw has 1. Hannibal has 1. Victor Lindelof has 1. Fred has 2. Kobe Mainu has 3. Anthony has 4. And Anthony Martial has 7.
Rather than.
There we go. I'm sure those Man United fans absolutely screaming at that. That is the end of this week's category game. And there is no Fantasy Premier League update this week because we have all been away on our international jollies. So we'll be back next week after another round of Premier League action and to round up from the Scotland game as well. But before then, we will bid you farewell.
I do.
Bye.
Godspeed.
That doesn't really work, Kyle.